Welcome everyone to a brand new video. It's me, your host Dark, and once again we're making videos at 2 a.m. Shout out to my neighbors. Anyways, today we're back reacting again to SCP animated Tales from the Foundation. I'm gonna leave a link to that channel down below in the description because once again this channel is just amazing. Today I picked out an animation made of one of my favorite SCPs. I'm not gonna be picking any favorites. SCP-106 is one of my favorites. He's also known as the Young Man, and this animation claims to be the origin of SCP-106. Once again, I don't believe any SCP has a true origin, so this is all a fan theory, but we accept that. I love fan theories. So we're gonna start reacting to it. Before I hit play though, make sure you guys leave a like for more SCP videos, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any future videos, or else SCP-106 will take you to his shadow dimension. Also, make sure you follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything's down below in the description. Now let's just get right into the video. I'm really curious to see what his origin is.
That's not to say that nobody tried or that he was somehow unfriendly, merely that he was one of those few that seemed to be wired differently.
Oh, hold on, by the way, guys. I forgot to mention, so this is the thumbnail of this video. If this looks familiar to you, it might be because you had some history lessons at school. This is actually based on a very famous picture from, I believe, World War I, of a guy who was suffering of cell shock in the trenches. I believe that's the story. Might be wrong. Anyways, I'm guessing this takes place during World War I, or at least during one of the world wars.
However, in the trenches of World War I, normalcy was at best a relative term. Lawrence fought, listened to orders, and didn't disrupt the other soldiers.
I am a genius.
And that was all that was required. So what if the people felt increasingly uncomfortable around him, in a place where the baseline of concern was the flesh rotting off your bones while you were still alive?
Is he talking about this
personality
SCP-106?
Several levels below a paper cut. Lawrence, for his part, dealt with it as he always had, that is to say, remained totally unaware of the avoidance, the same way a man blind from birth cannot mourn the memory of color. Lawrence couldn't bemoan a lack of company. He was quiet, as he had nobody to talk to.
So this dude Lawrence, I'm guessing he's gonna turn into SCP-106. I wonder how though. If this animation took place during World War II, I think it would have been obvious. They would have made a thing like SCP-106 was created because of a nuclear bomb or something like that.
And still, as he had nothing to do for long stretches of time. The enemy trench, less than a mile away, had gone silent for several days. This amplified the unease that seemed to radiate off of Lawrence like heat waves. The worst part was that there was no distinct reason to.
So he is a human.
He was a plain man, average height, average build, bland of voice and action. Nobody could recall him raising his voice in joy or anger. He did have the occasional odd mannerisms, however.
Like what, going through walls?
A beat or two longer than was acceptable at people. He rarely slept as well, and bunkmates said he would mumble in his sleep almost constantly. The content of those nocturnal ramblings, when they could be understood, were often odd and potentially unsettling. One private moved to another barracks when he heard the name of his daughter pass Corporal Lawrence's lips, followed by a bubbling, muffled giggle. It was strongly theorized that he was sent over the trench by his commanders more out of a desire to have him away than for his minimal combat skill.
Oh, that's mean.
Across the nightmarishly scarred waste of the no man's land between the trenches to scope out the enemy trench and secure it if possible. Many seemed to hope that Lawrence would have the opportunity to prove his devotion to his country by making the ultimate sacrifice for it.
I believe some of them just wanted to get rid of Lawrence. Have you ever been so annoying people actually wanted you to... I have.
It was while he was gone that someone started asking questions. Nobody remembered him ever talking of home. No sweet-smelling letters came, no soggy, dirt-streaked letters left. Questions started to float among even the higher levels of the command. Nobody was able to actually find his station orders. He'd come in with a squad of reinforcements transferred from France, but there was no paperwork. The rest of the reinforcement squad had never seen the man before he'd been lumped in with them the night before the trip.
So does that mean SCP-106 is French? So it's Le SCP en 0 106. Yeah, that joke would have probably been way better if I actually knew how to speak French. Let's continue.
Along with the snips and scraps of other squads decimated by the Germans. Whispers filtered among the grunts of the corporal being a curse. Nearly every man who'd shared a bunkhouse with him had gotten trench foot, and the rooms he haunted always seemed to smell more musty.
What's trench foot?
Even for the trench. The men sent over the no man's land with Corporal Lawrence heard and cared for none of this.
But wait a second. So, this all means that SCP-106 was already strange, maybe not 100% human, before he turned into the actual SCP-106. Because in here, he looks human. If y'all have ever seen SCP-106, he looks vaguely human. And I mean vaguely. So that's interesting. I like this origin story so far. I'm happy that he's not a regular human who somehow turned into SCP-106. I like it way more when stuff is shrouded in mystery like this.
Just another man among many, all with death certificates awaiting a
Wanna bet he's gonna freaking destroy the enemy.
From crater to crater, slipping over slick mud and barbed wire.
He's gonna destroy every single enemy.
Blasted waste. Charging the last spur and into the trench, they were greeted not with the harsh bark of German orders and rifles, but a dense, close silence. Preparing for ambush, the men started to filter out into the tunnels and halls of the trench.
What's happening?
The men, already nervous, were not calmed by their investigation.
Uh-oh.
The trenches stank of mold, sweat, and a thin undercurrent.
SCP-106 has been here.
A vile, cloying slime seemed to have pooled in every divot and crack, sticky as glue and itchy on the flesh.
Don't touch it.
Private Dixon found the first body and managed to cry out before vomiting.
Ew.
They knew it had been a man only because nothing else of that size could have been there. It lay on the floor of a barracks. The entire floor. The flesh of it had been...
Oh my god.
Wow. Spread like butter over the rough dirt floor.
He got brains
Bones
though.
already looking pitted and rotten, stuck out at random angles like dead trees in a still
So the
swamp.
SCP-106 already had
Skull
these
rested on one of
abilities.
the highest bunks facing the doorway.
Where is
More
he?
remains were found, each seemingly more unsettling
When
and
did he do
strange
this?
than the last. Unfathomable horrors were discovered one after the next, sending men retching and running from the trench. Corporal Lawrence was the first to find the hole. It was small, no more than 4 feet across. It seemed to be the accidental uncovering of a natural chamber, the empty blackness of it defying investigation. Private Dixon,
Don't go in there.
And blessedly numb from his previous ordeals, saw the corporal prod the edge with his boot, then crouch to
Why?
peer in, then suddenly slide in head first before the private could so much as utter a shout of question. When questioned later, he could provide little illumination as to what happened over the 2 minutes Corporal Lawrence spent in the hole.
Oh, is he gonna come out?
The light of a torch seemingly gobbled up a few feet into that dense blackness.
Okay, so is that SCP-106 Shadow Dimension? I think so. What do you guys think? If y'all have any theories so far, please make sure you leave them down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, make sure you leave a like and please subscribe and turn on post notifications. Because once again, I've been checking the analytics and only 30%, not even 30% of you guys are actually subscribed. And I'm assuming if you're watching this far into the video, you're loving this. So why not do yourself a favor, subscribe, turn on post notifications, so you will have more videos like this in your subscription feed.
There were sounds, the rustle of movement over loose stone or rubble, an odd liquid shifting, a dry rustle that made him think of insect husks. As he shouted for aid, there was a sudden upwelling of a repulsive
Why? Don't
stench,
stick your hand in
and his
there.
fellow soldiers found him retching helplessly beside the hole when they came around the turn. It was as they rushed to Private Dixon's aid that the hand emerged from the hole. They stopped and raised rifles as one body, roaring for the owner of that pale, trembling hand to identify himself.
Ugh.
As they watched, another hand joined the first, followed by the pale, shivering head of Corporal Lawrence. He was streaked and smeared with a tarry black ooze, hacking and coughing thinly as
So
he hauled
is
his
this
body up beside that of
the
gasping
unknown soldier?
As they moved to help the man, the corporal vomited up a heavy stream of the same repulsive slime that coated his body in smears and globs. They were hesitant to touch him.
Don't
finally
touch him.
doing so after the seemingly endless river of grime stopped pouring from him. He was insensible, eyes rolling and wide, body as limp as a boned fish. The men fled the trench with all the speed they could.
That's
muster,
smart. Do that.
dragging the corporal
Finally, they
who
made a
ran
good
with no
choice.
thought of cover or death, only escape. They crossed in record time, falling into their home trench, gasping and shivering. One man, known to have bludgeoned a German to death with a brick, curled on the floor in a sobbing heap.
Alright guys, a very awkward moment. Y'all remember the young guy, the mysterious young guy who's allegedly SCP-106? I forgot what his name was. Is that the guy they're carrying right now? It's not, right? I'm super confused.
Anders moved quickly, isolating the men and trying to calm the most lucid for a report. What spilled out would have been immediately dismissed as lies and hallucination were it not for the earnest, pleading stares of those reporting. Command calmed them with explanations of battle fatigue and strange gas weapon tests.
So what's happening?
Silent, focused stares as the cowed men were ushered out. Corporal Lawrence had little to report. Of his time in the hole, he could or would say little. He stated that he had slipped and fallen into what may have been some long-blocked underground pool or perhaps a buried latrine.
Wait, so is this the one the dude? Okay, I'm sorry guys. I have to rewatch.
One eternity later.
All right, guys. I just did some backtracking in the video, and yes, this is Lawrence, the weird guy who's gonna turn into SCP-106 allegedly. But wait, all the stuff that we saw in the other trenches, that's stuff that SCP-106 does. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Corporal Lawrence is not gonna become SCP-106. Let's just watch. But that it doesn't explain the mystery surrounding him. Oh, I'm super into this animation.
Of the sounds and smells reported by the private, he had nothing to say, only that he had struggled a short time, then managed to get back out just as the men arrived. Truly, he seemed none the worse for wear. In fact, he seemed in better spirits than many had remembered ever seeing him, favoring the commanders with a wide, giddy smile as he was dismissed with a warning not to discuss the events.
Why?
Not one man from that trench survived the Great War, although few died in battle. A wave of sickness took the trench a few days after Private Dixon's death. It seemed to eat the flesh like acid, men waking to find previously healthy flesh down to the bone, oozing and blackened. Corporal Lawrence was remanded to a French mental ward, transferred after several complaints from the hospital proper where he was first sent. It seemed his behavior hinted at a growing mental imbalance. The corporal would rant quietly to the other patients, whispers
I'm so
about
confused.
endless halls, pursuits in the dark, flesh laid out like pages of a book. It was dismissed as war fatigue. He vanished several times from the ward, only to appear several hours later.
Of course, he can go through walls now.
When pressed, he would begin to sing "My Bonnie Lies Over the Sea" in an endless monotone until the doctors left exasperated.
He can go through walls.
Musty foulness seemed to sit in the air wherever he stayed, and incidents of infection and the strange consuming sickness that had beset his home trench seemed to follow him like a cloud. Numerous attempts were made to transfer the man, only to be met with bureaucratic confusion. No records were found of the man, no entry papers, commendations, or incidents.
He just
not even a
disappears.
birth certificate. Through it all, he sat for hours on end, cross-legged on his bed, occasionally humming tunelessly or rambling off the names of his wardmates.
Oh my
between
God.
short, bubbling giggles.
I already love this animation.
Corporal Lawrence and 18 men vanished one November night between a 5-minute nurse rotation at 3 in the morning. The room reeked of rust, oil, mold, and sweet rot. Thick black swaths of crumbling ooze coated the beds and several of the walls.
He probably took everyone to his shadow dimension. Okay, so seeing as this animation is almost over, I'm guessing they are not going to explain the background of Corporal Lawrence. Because once again, guys, even before he went into the black, oozy little shadow dimension hole, there was already a lot of mystery surrounding him. Like, where did he come from? Nobody remembers actually enlisting him and all that stuff. So I am actually super curious as to what you guys think. If y'all got any theories on his background, please leave it down below in the comments section.
Patches of it smearing and eating into the floor. Of the men, there was no sign at first.
Oh my God.
As they searched, one nurse shifted a bed aside only to shriek and nearly trip across one of the sunken, reeking depressions on the floor. In a tight, perfect spiral were what appeared to be hundreds of teeth resting neatly on the floor.
Those are some
After
white
counting,
teeth though.
They accounted for the total of all the teeth of every living soul in that ward, but one.
Hey, he's in quarantine. He was just bored.
The corporal was never found, nor were the men. The incident was swallowed by the constant barrage of horrors from the front and forgotten with ease. Still they came. Stories of strange deaths.
And
of
he's still
disappearing
alive.
Men, Found days later alive, but broken and twisted beyond comprehension. Stories of a strange, dark figure stalking the bomb-riddled towns of Europe.
I actually really like this origin story. Once again, it may just be made up. I actually don't know if SCP-106 ever has a real origin story. I might be completely wrong. But yeah, I think this is all made up. But I am actually really liking this origin story. I might just choose to believe this one. But yeah, guys, that was today's reaction video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and go check out SCP Animated Tales from the Foundation. I'm going to leave a link to their channel down below in the description. They have a bunch more animations that I haven't watched yet that you can watch before I inevitably make a reaction video about it. But yeah, if you guys want to see more stuff like this, make sure to check out the videos on your screen right now by pressing here or here. And hopefully I will see you all next time. Dark, signing out.